Not only did Marc Marquez dominate the 2026 German MotoGP, but he also left such a strong impression that Ducati's two most influential figures felt compelled to speak out. Gigi Dall'Igna and Andrea Dovizioso both revealed a surprising secret that may have gone unnoticed by the public. What exactly did they see in Marquez that convinced them he has reached a completely different level from the rest of the grid? Is there really something that now makes Marquez almost impossible to stop for the remainder of the season? Let's discuss. The Saxon Ring weekend was nearly flawless for Marquez. He started by claiming pole position, went on to win the sprint race, and capped off the weekend with a dominant victory in the Grand Prix. Throughout the race, Marquez gave his rivals virtually no opportunity to mount any serious challenge. He controlled the race with a consistent pace, carefully managed the gap to those behind him, and always seemed to have extra speed in reserve whenever it was needed. That dominant performance prompted Ducati course general manager Gigi Dall'Igna to offer special praise for the 8-time world champion. According to Dall'Igna, the most impressive aspect wasn't simply that Marquez won, but how he won, with a far more mature approach than he had displayed in previous seasons. Dall'Igna believes Marquez has evolved into a much more efficient rider. In the past, he was known for taking enormous risks to gain even a fraction of a second. Now, however, his riding style has changed without sacrificing the aggressive identity that has always defined him. Marquez still possesses incredible speed and remains capable of launching aggressive attacks whenever the situation demands it. The difference is that he now understands exactly when to push to the limit and when to manage his pace to safely reach the checkered flag. According to Dall'Igna, that ability to control a race has become one of Marquez's greatest strengths this season. That transformation was on full display throughout the Saxon Ring race. Marquez never looked rushed or under pressure. From the moment the lights went out, he calmly dictated the pace of the race. Whenever his rivals attempted to close the gap, Marquez responded effortlessly, without appearing to push the bike to its absolute limit. According to Dall'Igna, that level of race awareness is a trait shared only by truly exceptional riders. Marquez's years of MotoGP experience are now paying huge dividends. Every lesson he has learned, including the difficult years recovering from career-threatening injuries, has shaped him into a far more mature and intelligent racer. Even so, Ducati has no intention of becoming complacent after such an outstanding result. Dall'Igna emphasised that the battle for the 2026 MotoGP World Championship remains wide open. While the points gap in the standings has narrowed, it is still far too early for anyone to feel comfortable. Several rivals remain close enough to completely reshape the championship battle within just 1 or 2 race weekends. That's why Ducati understands that the real challenge will begin once the summer break comes to an end. The pressure will only increase, and even the smallest mistake could prove extremely costly in the title fight. In that kind of situation, Marquez has become an invaluable asset for Ducati. Beyond delivering victories, the Spanish rider provides the consistency and stability the team needs. Every race weekend, Ducati heads to the track confident that they have a rider capable of maximising even the smallest opportunities. Dall'Igna also reminded everyone that Marquez's resurgence this season didn't happen overnight. Just a few months ago, many people still questioned whether the baby alien could truly return to the front of the field after enduring years of injuries and adapting to life with Ducati. At that point, the gap in the championship standings was significant, making Marc Marquez's chances of getting back into the title fight seem increasingly unlikely. But little by little, he began to find his rhythm. One strong result after another steadily closed the gap, until he eventually worked his way back into contention for the MotoGP World Championship. Now, the situation has completely changed. Marc Marquez has once again become the biggest threat to all of his rivals. With his experience, incredible speed, and growing confidence, he has emerged as one of the strongest contenders to win the 2026 MotoGP World Championship. According to Gigi Dall'Igna, the most dangerous thing about Marquez right now isn't just his speed. What truly sets him apart is his ability to know exactly when to attack, when to stay patient, and how to manage a long championship campaign. If he can maintain this level of performance after the summer break, the second half of the 2026 MotoGP season could become the perfect stage for Marc Marquez to complete one of the greatest comeback stories of his career with Ducati. Interestingly, Marquez has also received high praise from one of his fiercest former rivals, Andrea Dovizioso. The rider who spent years battling Marquez for world titles offered an in-depth analysis of the transformation the baby alien has undergone this season. According to Dovizioso, many people believe Marquez has completely changed his riding style. However, he believes that perception isn't entirely accurate. In his view, Marquez is still the same aggressive rider he has always been. His natural instinct to attack, push the bike to its limits, and take risks remains unchanged. The difference is that he now controls those instincts far better than he did in the past. Dovizioso explained that Marquez's biggest transformation hasn't been in outright speed, but in the way he manages risk throughout an entire race weekend. A few years ago, Marquez often pushed beyond the limit. Now, he is much more patient and far more selective about choosing the right moments to attack. He no longer feels the need to be the fastest rider in every practice session or qualifying. Instead, his primary focus is maximizing his results when it matters most. According to Dovizioso, this approach is exactly what has made Marquez a serious world championship contender once again. The best example came at Saxon Ring. On a circuit that has long been one of his strongest tracks, Marquez delivered a dominant performance without ever looking like he was forcing the issue. He controlled the pace, managed the race flawlessly, and still had extra speed in reserve whenever the situation demanded it. For Dovizioso, Marquez now understands that winning a world championship isn't just about claiming spectacular victories. It's about maintaining consistency throughout the entire season. Dovizioso also highlighted one of Marquez's greatest strengths, something that remains incredibly difficult for other riders to replicate: his ability through left-hand corners. Saxon Ring, with its heavy emphasis on left-hand turns, provided the perfect stage for Marquez to showcase that unique talent. According to Dovizioso, rivals have spent years carefully studying Marquez's telemetry data. They know his braking points, corner entry speeds, lean angles, and even how he applies the throttle on corner exit. Yet despite having access to all that information, very few riders have ever been able to match his performance. The reason is simple. Marquez's advantage doesn't come solely from the numbers on a computer screen. It also comes from the extraordinary confidence he has when leaning the bike into left-hand corners. That advantage is a unique combination of natural talent, years of experience, and racing instinct, qualities that simply can't be taught through data alone. In the end, both Gigi Dall'Igna and Andrea Dovizioso agreed that Marquez's greatest strength today is his maturity in managing races. What do you think? Has Marc Marquez truly become an almost unstoppable rider? And will he go on to win the 2026 MotoGP World Championship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.